Hello, this is Cookie and Con. We're out for our white fishing trip. It is bitter cold and windy, and the first part of the fun of doing these sort of adventures with somebody that has some health issues is trying to get down a hill like that in the slick snow. But we're here on the Weber River. We're going to try our luck at some whitefish. We're going to do it old school, and we're going to try some bait. Most people do a lure with a nymph with a fly rod. There's a number of people out on the river today doing that, but we're going to do it old school with a little bit of bait. Drift a worm or a mealy worm along the bottom slow and some of these holes up here, and we'll see what kind of luck we have. But it's pretty darn cold, so we're going to get over there and get fishing before she decides that the trip is over, before it begins. We'll see you in a minute. Alright, we're into our first hole here for the mountain whitefish. That's Cookie. She's going to navigate very carefully out on this rock towards this hole out here. And we're looking forward. There could be some browns in here, as well as the mountain whitefish, maybe even a cutthroat. So we'll see what kind of luck we have. It's really shallow and very clear, low water. Luckily the Lost Creek moved into it here and got a little bit more depth, but so we're just gonna toss a little worm out there, a little mealy worm, let them drift and bounce on the bottom, see what kind of luck we have. Mountain whitefish, they're native to the western United States and Canada. They're really a good sporting fish. They taste really well, especially smoked. They get a bad reputation. Some people think they're like carp, but no, they're very sporting fish, very tasty. They like cold, clear water. In fact, some of the best times to catch them is during the winter and these low waters when they pool up in some of these holes. But they have a small mouth, so you want to go with a small bait if you're going to do that. A small hook, a 10 or something smaller than that. A little small mealy worm or a piece of worm is good. But the majority of the people that catch these whitefish this time of the year are going to do it with a fly rod. They're going to fish with a midge or some nymph patterns, slow bouncing with a strike indicator. That's a lot harder to do. It takes a little bit of technique and some tools. It's a great way to catch them, a lot of fun. But we're going to show you the technique hopefully today with just bouncing a little piece of bait and seeing how that works for us. My brother does really well fishing these little holes with a small piece of worm, loves to catch the browns this way, so hopefully the whitefish will cooperate with us today and give us a couple of bites before it gets so cold that we don't want to spend any more time on it. Oh, and there she goes. She's into one already. Let's see what she's got. That's the way we like to catch them. And today, Carrie has caught a little brown trout with her fly. So she's done. That's probably all the fishing she'll have for today. But I'm going to have to shut this down and get this fish released before we damage it. But a beautiful little brown trout on a bait. Took it kind of deep, so it's possible we may have to keep that one and smoke him, but we're going to try and release these. That's a risk bait fishing them, is sometimes they'll take it deep and you have to be prepared potentially to keep them. So we won't take very many. The limit's 4 on trout and 10 on whitefish, but if we start hooking them deep, we won't keep any. We'll abandon ship and enjoy a nice winter afternoon. But I'm going to shut down now and release that for her. And here we are on the beautiful Weber River. We're down near the Taggart's exit, real popular area for tubing during the summer, a lot of fun for the kids. We're just off the exit there. We went up first of all to the Hennifer areas, some of the pullouts out there. There's a lot of private ground up there, but there are a number of fisherman accesses, some really good places, but the river level coming out of the Weber is so low, or out of Echo Reservoir is so low right now that it was mostly iced over up through the Hennifer area. So we came down below the Devil Slide cement plant where Lost Creek comes in. We're working a couple of these holes where there's a little bit more water, it's more open. We'll see how we do up through there. If you notice around, we're not the first fishermen. I don't know if you can see those tracks or not, but a mink's been coming in and out of the water and working these over. That's one of the risks of this time of the year. The water gets so low, the fish congregates into these holes and they really become easy access for predators. The mink, raccoons can get into them, birds of prey. So as a fisherman, it's important for us to, you know, have our fun, enjoy ourselves, but not do too much damage to the fishing population, to release as best we can, to try and use small hooks, barbless if possible. That's why the nymph fishing and the flies are so popular, because you can make that connection and have that fun that way and still get a good easy release. But bait fishing, old school, is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's something you can do with the kids. You can get them into a couple browns. Hopefully we still get that whitefish. I'm gonna pan up river here a little bit. See, really just a pretty section of the river here, right off the highway. There's some fly fishermen up above us on some open stretches. They were smarter. They picked the area where the sun's out, staying a little warmer than we are, but that's all right. We'll try a few of these holes down through here, and we scored the one brown, so she gets to check that off the Utah Freshwater Fish Challenge, the Grand Slam Challenge. I hope you take a chance to look at that on our YouTube video, and when we get our website up, I've got some forms that people can check off. If you want to send your pictures and your dates and your information, we can get it on the log and on the website. It should be a lot of fun to join in with that. There's a lot of fishing species in Utah that we can take advantage of, that we can have a lot of fun catching. And you know, there's the Fish and Game Department in Utah has a cutthroat challenge. There's 4 subspecies of cutthroats. It's a really fun challenge to look at if you go on their website. This one, the one I've just kind of made up on my own, is the Grand Slam of all the game fish in Utah. And I'll show you that on the charts later on. I'll attach that to the video and show you what that looks like. But it can be a lot of fun to get out there and do these types of slams and catch these different types of fishes. Just need to be really thankful for the state we live in, for the waters that are available, and for the work the Game and Fish does to promote the water, the fisheries, and the different species they have. Just a lot of opportunity for family and friends to have fun. But I'm tired of talking, and I'd like to catch one before my hands go numb. And it doesn't look like the mealworm's quite as aggressive as the night crawler was, so I'm betting she's going to be wanting me to switch her out pretty quick. So I better shut the camera off and get fishing. So we headed back to the truck for a minute. Cookie had a couple more bites, but we weren't able to hook up. Just in a real shady, cold spot right there. So we're getting in the truck to warm our hands up. The adventure's got to be fun for it to be an adventure. So got to keep the little woman happy if she wants to go. If I'm going to get her to go on another one of these trips. So pretty excited about the fact she snagged a brown right off the bat, though. The whiteys are evading us. We're going to move up the river a couple of spots above this group of fishermen and see what kind of luck we have up here.
So we moved up the river a little ways. Lance is just floating a worm through a couple of these holes. Not having too much luck. Just right under the freeway. It's a very popular spot. There's people fishing both sides of us with flies.
So we've finished the first leg of our Utah Grand Slam for fishing. We attempted to catch whiteys and browns today. Cookie was successful. She caught a brown right off the bat. Yukon, the Cowboy pirate, was unsuccessful and caught nothing, which is about how our fishing trips normally go. I usually get skunked big time by Cookie, and so at least the tradition holds strong. We wrapped up. It was bitter cold. We didn't fish very long, maybe an hour and a half or so. Just the wind picked up and it was just too hard. We talked to a couple other fishermen. They were nymph fishing, having a lot of trouble with the cold wind and the snow blowing, with their lines freezing up and their furrows freezing up, so they were calling her too. They hadn't had much luck, so tough day on the river to catch, but a fun adventure with Cookie and the Cowboy pirate. We're now trying to get our warm clothes off, and we just checked out our sledding hill for tomorrow for the big family sledding party. Got the road broke in, place packed so that we can get the food and the warming tents all set up, and we're looking forward to that. That should be fun and exciting. So as soon as Cookie gets all of her winter clothes taken off so that she can get her wooden shoes on, we'll sneak over into Morgan, probably grab a hamburger and the groceries for the camping trip. And until then, I guess our next adventure will be the sledding party, and we'll see where that takes us from there. Have a great New Year's, and had a great 2019. Look forward to seeing you alongside us with the videos and our grand adventures with Cookie and the Cowboy Pirate. Bye. So, this is Cookie and the Yukon the Cowboy Pirate. We just got home after our adventure trying to catch whitefish and browns on the Weber River. You may have noticed we didn't take Caleb along with us. Buckwheat. Sorry, I'm supposed to use those alias names. Buckwheat along with us. He's going to go with us sleigh riding tomorrow, so we decided to just one cold weather adventure. It's always interesting to try and prepare him for cold weather adventures, and I would have had to have carried him through the snow into some of those fishing places, so we decided the sleigh riding party would be fun enough for him. He likes to be with family. So, but that got us thinking about some of the things we have to do to prepare ourselves for taking Buckwheat or Cookie out in the wilderness for adventures. And so just a few quick questions for Carrie to wrap up with. So Carrie, where you deal with MS, what sort of things do you have to kind of prepare for when you decide to go out into outdoor adventures, especially cold weather ones?
Well, so for me, with my MS, temperature is a big deal, and I know it is with a lot of people. It can be heat or cold, a lot of people struggle with. For me, I have a lot of problems if I overheat, if it's too hot. In the cold weather, I like to layer, because even in the cold weather, if I have too many layers on, I can overheat myself. And it's not a very nice feeling when temperature gets to you. It makes you feel kind of sick and makes you extremely tired. Another reason we didn't stay out very long today is because we knew that we had a pizza and game night with family tonight, plus the sleigh riding tomorrow, and so I don't want to overdo. I've had to really work hard to figure out when it's time to stop so I don't overdo, because then I end up really, really tired. So this was just a fun experiment, just to go out and just spend a little bit on the water and just see what we could do. So for next time, we can be prepared to maybe stay out a little bit longer, try a few more holes if I don't have as much going on the next day. So yep, I'm going to go home now and kind of crash for the next couple hours to get ready for the next family adventure.
Sounds good. You may also notice that we didn't take along Mario or Buddy, our two dogs. They love these types of adventures, and they will certainly go on a lot of them. They love to go fishing, but Buddy, our beagle, is getting pretty old and is starting to show his age with some trouble with his legs and cold weather sensitivity, so we're careful about how long we have him out in the snow. He loves to go out, but we know that he'll be feeling it pretty hard if he's been out for a long period of time. So he's going to go sleigh riding with us tomorrow. They love that, playing with the kids in the snow. So I figured we'd also let them have a pass on this, and this would just be Cookie and the Cowboy for an adventure. Talk to you later.